Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Nick here, back with a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about XRP, and I do want to do a quick update for those ALGO and BNT wagers. Those will be getting released today. I just have them rendering. They will take quite a bit. They are very long videos, but nonetheless, I do want to jump into this. So, we have two updates in terms of the SEC case. This first one is, sort of the individual defendants have filed their objection to the SEC news motion to file a 60-page consolidated response to the motions to dismiss. This is pretty big. If the case does get dismissed, that's awesome. But I think that, the SEC is going to try to stretch this as much as possible because, I feel like they don't want to be the face of like a loss in terms of something as big as the SEC versus Ripple case, because I think that this case is going to go down in history in terms of financial markets go. I think that this is like, once this case is done, whether it be a win or a loss for Ripple, it's going to be everywhere. It is one of the biggest cases so far in financial history, and I think that we're really trying to get to the point where what's going to happen. That's the end goal right now for everyone that's in Ripple and XRP right now. But nonetheless, I think that we're really kind of speeding towards resolution in this case. A lot of things have been escalated very, very quickly. Even from the time that I was in the call-in, just a little bit over like 5 days ago to now, a lot of things have changed drastically. And I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about this other article here. It's basically an update in the case where the SEC News files further response seeking to bar Ripple from seeking internal SEC News staff materials. And we actually have a response from Judge Netburn where she is saying, and let's read into this. Okay, thank you everybody for your arguments. I appreciate them. As I have come to expect from this group of lawyers, they were excellent, and the papers that you submitted as well were excellent. And I recognize that this is high stakes litigation and that people are quite invested in the outcome of the issues, including the individual defendants who face serious individual liability. I have reviewed the letters and have listened carefully to the argument. I'm going to grant, in large part, the defendant's motion. I think that the discovery related to Bitcoin and Ether is relevant. I think it is relevant to the court's eventual analysis with respect to the Howey factors, but I also think it is relevant as to the objective review of the defendant's understanding in thinking about the aiding and abetting charge or aiding and abetting count. I also think it is relevant to the fair notice defense that Ripple is raising. So for all of those reasons, I think discovery into Bitcoin and Ether is appropriate, and I'm going to authorize it. I'm going to authorize discovery both as to exclusively Bitcoin or Ether communications, as well as XRP communications between the SEC and third parties. And by that, I'm including all market participants and other government agencies. I am not including the SEC to SEC internal communications in that ruling, and so the SEC is obligated to review the discovery request. Guys, this is a huge win for XRP and Ripple because overall, they're going to get the insider news on why the SEC believes that Bitcoin and Ether are currencies. And I don't think that they have a strong defense against that. And I think that's the reason why the SEC wanted them to be, they wanted that to be thrown out. They didn't want, that to really make, the light of day. But now they truly are going to have to really defend that statement and to really get those facts on why they believe that it is a currency. I don't know what they're going to really do to get that information, but I'm sure that they're going to try to pull something. But overall, I think that this is a huge win for XRP, and I think it's a huge win for the XRP community. And then we also have here, I'm just looking at the actual requests themselves. I know we have been talking about request 4, 7, 8, 11, and 14. Search all of the relevant repositories for documents and discovery related to communications to third parties. In addition, I am ordering that discovery be conducted of all 19 custodians. I don't think that the SEC's arguments as set forth within their letters and again today are a legitimate basis given the relevancy standard to preclude discovery here. 19 custodians for an incredibly high stakes, high value litigation is not unreasonable, and given the three different categories of grounds not to produce documents, I don't think that that is a legitimate basis, so I'm going to direct that the SEC search all 19 custodians for relevant and responsive documents. I'm going to deny in part the request for discovery that is internal and specifically internal. For instance, email communications between that I will call the SEC staff to SEC staff. I think that communication both is less relevant as it goes to how the outside world, how the market is considering XRP, and how the individual defendants, how it affects their responsible belief. And I also think that there are likely to be extensive privilege issues there, and I think it is the potential to seriously chill government deliberations. And so I am not going to require communications to be produced that are internal email communications within the agency. If you want the parties to meet and confer, then again, that's kind of just so forth. But nonetheless, this is major for Ripple. I mean, this is a huge win nonetheless. And I think that, like I said, I think that we're really getting to the point of something happening here, whether that be a settlement, the case gets thrown out, or, hey, Ripple loses and XRP is deemed a security. Either way, I think there's still a huge payday for XRP holders, because even if, it is considered a security, I think at some point the government's going to have to buy your XRP tokens off of you at some sort of price point. Not even that, but I still think that Ripple and XRP will still go up in price even if it is considered a security. It all depends really on the price action that ensues after the case is either withdrawn or, a loss is in stake. But nonetheless, I think that this is going to be incredible. Nonetheless, if the SEC does, say for so, if we're going to get into the speculative basis, if the SEC does hide information, then I could see that this is not a huge win. But I think overall it is a huge win for Ripple. But I do really want to talk about this as well. Nonetheless, this is the digital dollar project that we've been talking about for so long. This is Cbdc's essentially, and it's projected to launch in 5 U.S. central banks overall. We actually have here Washington, the U.S. nonprofit digital dollar project said on Monday it will launch 5 pilot programs over the next 12 months to test the potential uses of a U.S. central bank digital currency, the first effort of its kind in the United States. The private sector pilots initially will be funded by Accenture plc and involve financial firms, retailers, and NGOs, among others. The aim is to generate data that could help U.S. policymakers develop a digital dollar. A partnership between Accenture and the Digital Dollar Foundation, the Digital Dollar Project, was created last year to promote research into the U.S. central bank digital currency, Cbdc's. And I just want to mention that this is huge for both HBAR and also XRP. I mean, it's truly a race to see which one gets, incorporated into this first, but I still think that they both have their separate use cases along the way in terms of CBDCs. There are conferences and papers coming out every week around the world on CBDCs based on data from other countries, said Christopher Giancarlo, former chair of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission and co-founder of the Digital Dollar Foundation. What there is not is any real data and testing from the United States to inform the debate. We're seeking to generate that real-world data, Giancarlo added. CBDCs are the digital equivalent of banknotes and coins, giving holders a direct digital claim on the central bank and allowing them to make instant electronic payments. While debit cards or payment apps are a form of digital cash, those transactions are created by commercial banks based on money central banks' credits to those bank accounts. They are not fully government-backed, can take up to days to settle, and can often incur fees. Cryptocurrencies, meanwhile, are controlled by private actors. Central banks around the world, including in China and Europe, are revving up CBDC projects to fend off threats from cryptocurrencies and improve payment systems. As guardian of the world's most widely used currency, the U.S. Federal Reserve is moving more cautiously. It is working with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, to build a technology platform for a hypothetical digital dollar. But Chairman Jerome Powell said last week that it is far more important to get a digital dollar right than it is to be fast. Giancarlo said Powell was correct to be cautious, but that as China pushes ahead, the United States must drive a discussion on incorporating U.S. values such as privacy and freedom of commerce and speech into the development of CBDCs. Like I mentioned in my last few videos, I think it's truly a race to see which, who is going to have a CBDC first. China really is winning the race currently, in my opinion. So I think that this is going to be interesting, especially in the next year, to really see where the financial, system is going. But so far, everything is playing out perfectly in terms of, Ripple and also HBAR being really brought into the financial, system. But I also want to talk to you guys a little bit about another article that came out, and this is PayPal, actually. Let me close this ad. PayPal has held explanatory talks about launching a stablecoin, which is what sources say. It says quick take. We're just going to do a quick take. We don't need to read all of this and make this video longer than it really needs to be. But overall, PayPal is exploring the launch of a stablecoin. The block has learned. Four sources with knowledge of the situation told the block that PayPal has made the rounds among some of the industry's stablecoin protocol developers, and then PayPal announced its foray into crypto services last fall. I think that this is very interesting because I use PayPal a lot in terms of like my online business, and I think a stablecoin is very useful for PayPal because you could pay anybody around the world in PayPal in pretty much seconds. It's typically cleared instantly. Now, it is not cleared instantly on a bank account. So if you do make a payment on PayPal, it's typically not taken out until days later. But for the most part, I think a stablecoin for PayPal would be really interesting to see. And I think that's actually going to be something that does take a lot of attention off of typical stablecoins like USDT, USDC, USD, as well as other ones out there. But for the most part, I think PayPal is really kind of lacking in terms of crypto themselves, because even if you go to trade on PayPal, you can only buy certain ones like Bitcoin. I think you could buy Bitcoin Cash. I believe that you could buy a few other ones too. But for the most part, I think that they really need to incorporate more. But for the most part, PayPal was never supposed to be an exchange anyway. So I think at the end of the day, what PayPal was just a payment service at the end of the day. But nonetheless, I still think that this is pretty big. We're seeing cryptocurrency be adopted into the financial system pretty much every single day, and PayPal being interested in having a stablecoin launch, I think that's I think that's massive for the cryptocurrency world. But I do want to talk to you guys a little bit more about Bitcoin dominance. We have fully broken down. We are now into the 47 range, like I mentioned in my last video that we would see. I think that this is playing out perfectly. I think that we're going to see probably about 45 within the week. I think by the end of Friday, it's going to be massive. I think we'll probably be somewhere between 45 to 43. And the lower we go on this, and while Bitcoin does its thing, I think Bitcoin is, ranging a little bit to go to 60K plus. I think that we're going to see altcoins explode very soon. And yes, that does include Ripple, even though the case is still there. We already seen that with the move from 60 cents to $1.92. So what does that mean for XRP? What does that mean for altcoins? We are going into alt season. Like I mentioned on my Twitter, now I do not know who pretty much made this. I found this back in like November. But for the most part, we are in phase 2 on Ethereum. Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, and we hear talks of the flippening. I think once this is over, that's where we really see money flow in, like we see here. Money flow into the large cap, alt, and then, phase 4 is alt season. I think that we're very close. I think XRP is going to surprise a lot of people before, anybody actually thinks it's going to. We already seen that from Easter to now. But for the most part, we are going to range very, very high in terms of value. And I think that a lot of people are overreacting to some extent in terms of like market cap predictions. But I think the market cap for crypto is anywhere between $7 to $10 trillion at the end of this cycle. And it's going to be exciting to see. It's going to be exciting to really determine where we go, because I think the total market cap right now is over $2 trillion, which is massive, and it's not showing any signs of slowing down. I think this alt season is going to be one for the books. I think it's going to be 10 times better than the 2017 and 2018 bull run, and it's going to really outperform the 2013 bull run. But nonetheless, guys, I will be getting ALGO and BNT videos out for you guys tonight or tomorrow, hopefully. But nonetheless, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter and if you guys are not in the Discord, I really advise you guys to join. They are in the description below. You guys could follow me on Twitter and also join the Discord. I appreciate everybody who has been joining the Discord and following me on Twitter so far. I do appreciate all of the support, and if you guys are not subscribed, definitely subscribe and turn the notifications on because I'm uploading gems all the time. I'm trying to give you guys so much information as much as possible and really give you guys, a lot more, free content as much as possible. So nonetheless, guys, this has been Nick. Peace out.